Andy Pugno, welcome.
Good evening.
It's been 9 years since Gavin Newsom first issued marriage licenses at City Hall. A lot has changed. The polls show a shift toward support for gay marriage. We've seen some prominent Republicans come out in support of it. How does that change the job that you and your legal team need to do next week before the Supreme Court?
Well, really, it doesn't and shouldn't affect what is a legal case where we're looking at an interpretation of the U.S. Constitution. And things like public opinion polls and the political pressure that can be brought to bear really are just, not, that's just not for a legal case like this.
So do you think the justices are more or less immune to that?
I think the justices are accustomed to avoiding being sucked into a political debate, and I think they'll be mindful of their role, their limited role as judges to interpret existing law, not to make new law.
Well, tell me, what do you feel is the essential thing you and your team have to make sure that the justices hear on Tuesday?
One of the most important things is that the justices realize that this is an issue not just of marriage, but also of states' rights and federalism. And it would really be unfortunate to have same-sex marriage imposed, marriage redefined for all 50 states by the intervention of the federal courts, thus ending a debate that continues to go on today throughout the country. And I think that that's probably the most important thing the court should be thinking about.
The essential element of your argument in the legal briefs is that marriage is a special right and that it should be reserved for opposite-sex couples to create that link between their biological offspring. And I'm wondering, what's your point about why extending that same right to gay and lesbian couples who have kids, why would that weaken the institution of marriage if you just allowed everyone to have access to it?
That's just simply the wrong legal question. Not what harm would it cause, but whether or not it would serve the purpose of marriage. The purpose of marriage is to bind men and women together to increase the likelihood that children born of opposite-sex couples will, as often as possible, be raised by the mother and father that brought them into this world. And redefining marriage to include same-sex couples doesn't promote that purpose.
But how would it undermine it? Or is that, you think that's not relevant?
It would undermine it because it would sever the link between marriage, between man and a woman, and the rearing of children by the mothers and fathers that bring them into this world. And by severing that link, it would undermine this purpose of marriage and really turn it into an adult-focused institution to the detriment of children.
But this week, the American Academy of Pediatrics came out and said that gay marriage would be the best thing for children in being raised by two moms or two dads. So what would you say to that?
I would point out that even the experts of the plaintiffs in this case, in the trial that was held, they all had to admit that, first of all, redefining marriage would work a substantial change on the institution, and second of all, that really no one is capable of predicting with any certainty how redefining marriage would affect society in general.
And so you think the stakes on Tuesday are what?
I think the stakes are very high because you're talking about not just the institution of marriage, but also kind of a larger question of, are we going to have a judiciary that creates new law because of essentially substituting their judgment for the judgment of the people who, through the democratic process, should be making these important policy decisions.
If Prop 8 is struck down, as the lower courts have done, do you feel that's the end of the road then for your group in California, or is there some other avenue you would pursue?
If the Supreme Court decides that there is a hidden, invisible right to same-sex marriage in the Constitution, that would spell the end for Proposition 8 in California.
All right, Andrew Pugno with ProtectMarriage.com. Andy, thanks so much.
No trouble. Thank you.